Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Josee and this is the Knit Up and Dye podcast, episode 74, Chaos Control. As always, I'm going to start with my thank yous. Special thank you and welcome go out to all of my subscribers, new and ongoing. I love you guys. What you see here is all about you, and I'm always looking to hear from you about what you want to see. Hello and welcome go out to Linnell, Wobster, and Joanne. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for adding me to your lives. Special love and thanks go out to my big list: Wendy, Catherine, Cindy, Rosalie, Teresa L, Sylvie, Chris FF, Lynn Ann, Tiffany, Joy, Susan, Wheezy, Adriana, Lemore, Wayne, Sonia, Patricia, Lisa Lette, Cappy, Kath, Bente, Christy, Neetsy, Charlotte, Chris, Roseanne, Linda, Marie, Eve, Faye, David, Donna, Betty Ann, Scott and John, Carolyn, Kate, Terry, Bex, Nancy, and Rachel. Hi. And as always, a warm hello and thank you go out to my patrons. You honor me. Thank you. Chaos control. Yes, as if there's such a thing. So, it's been an interesting sort of couple weeks since my last regular podcast. We did a live episode last weekend, and that was great fun. I really enjoy those. It went on a lot longer than I expected. It was a full 2+ hours. Certainly, if you have the opportunity to watch it, you're going to want to break it up in a couple sessions, maybe if you're not doing a binge knit or some other chores that you do while you watch. But certainly give it a watch. There was a lot of fun information in there. It was a really good episode. But I'm going to, if you didn't watch it, repeat a couple things, just because this is a regularly scheduled episode. So I'm going to start with today's theme, chaos control. A miracle happened. A miracle happened. So a couple of people had been sending me packages this past week. Things that I had ordered and donations for giveaways. And when I checked the tracking on them, they had been marked as having been shipped, of course, but having been delivered on Thursday. I didn't receive anything. Huge panic on my part. I hate when things go missing. Hate it, especially when it's something that's been entrusted to me, gifted to me, or something that I have purchased. And I went into full panic mode, full stop loss, just trying to figure out what had happened. I was in communication with one of the people who had shipped to me. I was not yet in communication with the other person who had shipped to me. Really wanted to be absolutely sure that there was a problem before I communicated with everyone. I went to the post office. I had tracking numbers, and they, when there's a tracking number, they have the scanner, and they scan at time of delivery. That is GPS tracked. That helps them figure out exactly where it was. I took my tracking numbers to the post office. The manager there took the numbers, went to the GPS system, and checked. And sure enough, the packages had been scanned right outside my door. I was very concerned that I had been subject to theft. Right outside my door is relative. The postal carrier that day was in the truck, so it was in the street in front of my house. But I was very concerned that there had been a theft, that where it was also our trash pickup day and everybody had bins out, that it was possible somebody was going door to door picking up packages, seeing if there was anything of worth, and dumping them in the cans. The panic that ensued. Oh, God, I feel so responsible. If somebody sends me something, I feel like it's my duty to receive it. And I just can't stand when things are stolen. That's crazy. I don't understand taking something from somebody else. especially when it's something like yarn. Really, are there thieves in the street so desperate for yarn? I mean, yeah, I want all the yarn, but I am not going to go door to door and shake packages to see if I can get more. The carrier that did the scan was a substitute carrier, not my regular carrier, Mr. Patel. Mr. Patel is a very exacting individual. He is very loyal. We have a rapport. I really enjoy the man. When I talked to the manager, she said, look, you live in a good area. We don't usually have theft on your street. Let me have Mr. Patel canvass the area and see if he can find it. Often, if it's been delivered to the wrong house, the people will have it and they'll give it up as soon as somebody comes to the door asking for it. So I released to the universe. I said, okay, we'll give this a try, and if that doesn't work, if we don't find the packages that way, then there's opportunity to contact people and certainly file for insurance. I went about my day. Furious. Furious. This stuff just, it makes me so crazy. And went and did other chores, went out with my husband and did other things, and tried to get my mind off of it. Just because I've got this sense of responsibility. That I should have been home and I should have been there to receive it, and it's my fault if it's stolen. Came home and tucked in my door were both of the packages and my regular mail from Mr. Patel. He had found everything. I have so much gratitude to that man. If my regular carrier never took time off again, I would be oh so thrilled, which is so selfish and horrible. But he is very set that he needs to make sure that it goes to the right people to the right house, whereas some of the substitute carriers are a little bit more lax in their sense of responsibility. It was a miracle. I was so thrilled. I immediately contacted the people who did know that there was a problem, let them know that the issue had been resolved, and I am big sigh of relief and huge gratitude energy out to the universe. So there was this moment of chaos in my life with this loss, and the hours between when I knew there was a problem and when I could go to the post office and do anything about it were long hours, and my mind went in a million different places. My husband and I discussed the possibility of having everything shipped to his place of work, which I'm not entirely comfortable with, although the people he works for are wonderful and generous and honestly interested in my business and supportive of my business. I feel like that's a lot to have everything streamed through them. They do very graciously receive my large orders when I bring in yarn stock or when I bring in other supply. They receive it on my behalf, and I pick it up when I pick my husband up from work during our commute. Huge gratitude to them for that. But smaller packages all the time, that seems like I'm asking a lot. And although I've been assured that that's not a problem, I can't do that. So we talked about me getting a box at one of the postal services. We talked about all kinds of different things and how to ensure that when a package is sent to me, I receive it. Which kind of bothers me, the idea that we pay a service to get a package from point A to point B and it gets somewhere near point B really kind of irritates me. I shouldn't have to guard my box. I shouldn't have to check up on every package. It should just work. It should just work. And I hear horror stories about other people all the time not getting their mail or having their mail stolen or having the group mailboxes at the end of their street broken into or worse, simply removed. It's a weird time that we're in that people can't send a package with any sense of security about it. So there was chaos, and my only ability to control what was going on was to really step away and give it space and give it time. And otherwise hang, just kind of out of control until I could do something about it. There's other chaos. There's a lot of other chaos right now. We're seeing changes in tax laws for internet sales. We're seeing changes in the fee structure over at Etsy. I'm seeing changes in the rates for my base supplies with my suppliers. I'm seeing problems with supply availability with some other suppliers. There's a lot of chaos going on right now. There's a lot of change in the world, and it seems to be happening all at once. The truth of the matter is it just happens to be impacting me all at once. And so I'm looking for ways to make new decisions about how I run my business, make new decisions about my products, trying to sort out where I'm going to be in all these changes. And some of the changes aren't definitive yet. Some of the things haven't unfolded yet. And in this chaos where my mind is constantly reeling and I'm trying to figure out, well, God, do I increase these rates? Do I eat some of the fees? What do I do here, and what's going to happen here? Until it's definitive, it doesn't make any sense for me to stress on it. I need to worry about it when I have facts to worry about. I also have the chaos of life in general. Managing my knitting projects, managing my dreams, all the things that I want to design and I want to knit, and all the yarns that I wish to dye and make sure are distributed, managing giveaways, managing upcoming events, managing my business when I work a full-time job outside of the house. I'm finding this overall sense of chaos that has my shoulders and my ears and my eyes bugged out and shifty, and I need to breathe. I need to breathe. And I have consistently found in my life, the life lesson to all of this is to stop and step back. And that's the only way to control the chaos, is to release and let it unfold. And you would think, for the number of times I've learned this lesson, that it would have stuck once, but it doesn't. And I have to be reminded. I think that's one of the great truths of life, is that we have all these lessons that we learn over and over and over again. And it makes you wonder what the definition of learn really is, if you have to repeat the lesson. I learned from it, I recognize the pattern, I remember what I learned last time, but I didn't apply it. Maybe the truth in learning something is being able to apply it. I don't know. So I have some techniques that I'm employing to try and get the chaos under control. Under control being stepped away from and allowed to fizz out and get to where it belongs. I have purposefully gone out and purchased myself a planner. Ha ha ha. It's a simple planner. It's just a date planner. It's one of these monthly, weekly ones. So I've got a big month, and then I've got the weeks. And it starts in August, because don't jump in the pool yet. It's July. This gives me time to plan, time to think, time to sort out how I'm going to utilize my planner. Believe it, I went to the bookstore yesterday. I went to 3 stores yesterday. I have looked at a lot of different planners. I've looked at every planner. There's some pretty planners that are really, they're graphic and they're arty and they're lovely, and the content inside is useless. It does not work for my life and my style of planning. And then there's very simple, straightforward, just has lines and dates and calendars that does make sense for what I need. And I really struggled to find a planner that I was confident I would be able to adhere to, I would be able to utilize, that had space in the areas that I needed in order to organize things. So I put a lot of time into making sure I would have a control for my life experience, for stepping back away from the chaos. Some people struggle with planners because you end up logging minutia, putting too much detail in them, and becoming too obsessed with overutilizing, making sure everything's trapped in the book. Other people we'll start with a planner with all good intentions, and it'll slowly drift away and not get used. I'm more that person, and I'm a little bit concerned about applying myself to this task and this goal, and finding ways to pull it all into one place so that I can breathe and glance at it and go, okay, the eggs are all in the basket, we're good, despite the happening everywhere else. This was step number 1. Step number 2 is finding more solace in my life. I started practicing yoga loosely a couple years ago. I went into it really hard. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of benefit out of it. And then schedules changed, and I have not been able to find a class that worked with my schedule, that works for me. I prefer a slow and gentle program. I prefer a warm yoga rather than a hot yoga. It's just too much for my body. So I haven't been able to find a class that worked for me, my schedule. Which means do it yourself. I have that power. One of my yoga instructors, love her, so good at what she does. She actually has a YouTube channel. If you're interested in any of this, let me know. I'll forward you the links. Connie is wonderful. And she has the flow that she used to teach that I attended the most, that I really enjoyed, all up on YouTube. God bless her. So I'm going to be stepping back into that here in my own home. I have my mats. I actually ordered some blocks the other day because I might be a little bit less flexible than I was when I was taking the classes. And the blocks allow you some reach and while you get back to your flexibility. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. Yoga is a very interesting strength training without impact, and I love it. I love it. It releases all kinds of endorphins. It's really good for you. So I've decided to come back into that. I find great peace with it. I find that when I practice it, especially in the evenings, I sleep better. And I think I need just that extra head clean every night so that I do sleep better, so that the chaos is not so overwhelming. I'm turning off the news. I recently got back into the habit of reading headlines. It is important to have an idea of what's happening in your world, politically, financially, culturally, community. All these things are important. I don't handle it well. My husband handles it better. He processes things more slowly, and he tells me the things I need to know. And we are in a life partnership, and therefore we rely on each other. And for this, I am releasing, and I'm letting him let me know what I need to know. As a rule, I generally avoid the news, the newspapers, TV, headlines online, because I know this about myself. I know that I mire in and I get angry and panicky and stressed. And I don't know why I started reading headlines again. I really don't. But you read a headline and they're written in such a way that you get sucked in, and you read these stories, and some things are more biased than others. And then I worry and I start researching, okay, is this the truth or is this biased? And then I've read all these other stories, and oh my goodness, our world is ever changing and dynamic, and it can be a scary place. It can be a scary place. So I'm letting go. I'm not going to try to control that chaos. I'm going to control my response to the chaos, and I'm going to step away and trust that I'll be informed of what I need to know. I'm just going to release all the panic and let things unfold as they unfold. Also in that list, of course, I have a dog that is sick. I have talked about this before. She is suffering from lymphoma. She's not suffering. Let's be clear. I would not allow an animal to suffer. She is currently going through her steroidal treatment to give her last joyful, wonderful times in her life, and she's doing great. But lymphoma becomes drug resistant at some point. And We're not sure, of course, when that'll happen. There's not an expiration date on her paw. We don't know what to expect, honestly. We know what the degrade will be, but we don't know when. And so I'm just letting that go. I'm giving that up. And taking each day exactly as it comes. And enjoying each day as it comes. And trying not to mire in and worry. But just experience. How do you control chaos? You walk away. So, chaos. There's chaos in knitting as well, is there not? Whether you have yarn barf come out of the middle of your cake where everything tangled up or felted slightly, or the pattern has a typo in it, or you've got the wrong needle, or your needle, randomly your circular needle has one size on one point and another size on the other point. And yet it brings us so much joy and so much comfort and so much peace. And I think part of that is in not panicking at every error, not panicking every time we don't know what the next step is, and releasing, just taking time to enjoy and let it wash over us. So let's talk about knitting. That's why you're here, right? Some of this is going to be a recap from last week. I did give you guys a little bit of an update as to where I was at with my knitting last week, but why not? It's been a week. Let's talk again. My Lost in Space socks. Yay! They are done. They are beautiful. I love them. These were knit from a sock blank, and I think they are just gorgeous. I had so much fun knitting these. I knit them a little bit shorter than my foot. I actually put in a lot of negative ease. I tried them on. You can see how much negative ease. They're popping off the heel of my blocker here. I tried them on, and while they are lovely, and I like the idea of the negative ease, I went a little too far. And they're a little bit short for me. I just find a slight discomfort in how short they are. There's kind of a tight at the toe. Pardon me, I get the hiccups. So they're going to find a new home. Their plan has changed, and they will be going elsewhere. I haven't entirely decided what I'm doing with them, but I am happy with them. I think they're beautiful, and I'm quite sure that they will be loved elsewhere. So they're done. I accomplished something. I started another project. Yes, I know, Rachel, I should focus and I should get one thing done. I did. I got one thing done. But I am a polyamorous knitter. Absolutely. I have multiple projects going on all at the same time. And that's because of what my knit venues are, in that I can knit in my car. That's not conducive to bringing a whole sweater or a whole blanket. I knit on my lunch break at work. It's not conducive to bringing a whole sweater or blanket. Small projects are my travel projects, and bigger projects are my home projects. And so I have little projects everywhere. I have multiple projects. I can attest to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I currently have 10 things going on, possibly 11. Anyway, so I started a new project, and I started another pair of socks. Mostly because I really wanted to use the needle that I was gifted when I lost my size 2. I was gifted a new 47-inch Chaigu circular needle, and I am so grateful for it. That was just the sweetest gift ever. And so I cast on another pair of the Squircle socks. It's the only time that I use the magic loop method is when I have too many stitches to manage over DPNs or circulars before it becomes like this octopus nightmare of needles. And I love this pattern. And honestly, the new needles were so much nicer than the old needle, which was a liar. It said it was one size and it was actually another. And I made huge progress on this sock this week. I'm thrilled with it. It's just a little shorty sock. It uses that Squircle heel. And this time I'm knitting it right side out. No crazy challenges like doing it inside out. Look at what that heel does. Is that not the coolest thing? That is the back view of the heel. I love it. I love what this pattern does. That it loops those around and does this lovely angle with it. Great fun. I'm using a self-striping sock. It's a commercially produced Regia sock. I think the color is called Party. There's some interesting translations on here that aren't quite accurate, but it's a machine wash and dry sock yarn. Trying to get this in there for you. I like it. It's really pretty. I think the colors are great. It's fun. And this has been a very pleasurable car knit. Very happy with it. And I went from my 9-inch circulars to the magic loop to do the heel, and then back to my 9-inch circulars, and it has, clearly, it's flown. I did this past week. I've only been on this, I think I started it July 2nd. So where are we now? We are, I don't even know what today's date is. We're a week into this. Very happy with it. It serves its purpose. It's travel knitting, and it gets me a pair of socks. 2018 was supposed to be the year of the socks. We are in July. I think I have made myself completely one pair of socks. I've made another pair of socks, and they're going elsewhere. So pair 2, not doing great on my goal. That's okay. It's chaos. Release. We'll see where it lands. I made other progress this week. As you know, I finished my Farmhouse shawl. This is the 2-color version, and my test knitters are receiving their yarns, and the patterns will be going out very soon. I suspect I'll be sending those out. I think I'm sending patterns out today. I loved this project. I'm supposed to be working on the 3-color one. Why do I say that? I say that because I haven't sat down and done the new math to figure out where I want the new colors to go. And that's about having headspace and quiet time and being able to really sit down and look at the colors and how I want them to lay out. I worked very hard on the pattern this week and did all the tech and had it checked by a tech editor, and I'm very happy with it. I took most of a day to get this done so that I could get it out to you guys in a timely manner. This was necessary to get this completely hammered out before I can move on to the 3-color. So with this done and just finding some headspace, some time to really sit down and look at the interaction of colors and stripes to see what I want to do with that 3rd color, then we'll be moving forward with that, but not until. So progress, I got progress there. And I worked on another project. I'm very excited about this. Very excited about this. Simply because it got sidelined and camped. I finished the front and back. The back was done. I had to finish, I guess, the front. Is that where I am? No, I had to finish the back of the split hem of my Venetian Dream sweater. I love this. I'm so happy with how this sweater is coming out. And if you look carefully, you can see what else I did this week. Yes, sir, that is part of a sleeve. Progress is happening. I'm really excited about it. I really want this to be done. I have a yarny trip coming up in September, and I would love to wear this on my trip. Granted, it is not one of my yarns. I did not dye this yarn. I bought this yarn, but it's my knitting. And I love hand knits, especially when I travel. I get cold really easily, and even though it'll still be warmer weather, a sweater goes everywhere. A sweater is wonderful. So, very excited to finally be making progress on this. And sleeves go quick. So, I got about 1.5 inches done on that this morning. I feel like I'm going to be able to really make good progress on this going forward. This again was the Venetian Dream sweater by Josee Paquin. If you're looking on my Ravelry project pages, you'll see it as the Memoir sweater. It is a yarn that I purchased while I was up visiting my mom in Maine. And it is, I'm looking for the tag, Alegria by Manos del Uruguay. And the color is Rambla Sur. This is a 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It is 445 yards over 100 grams skein. It's fingering weight. The color is lovely, 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 lovely. I just adore the colors in this. I am trading out a couple of skeins at a time to make sure that it stays as far from pooling and flashing as possible. Josee Paquin's sweater pattern is a delight. I love her stuff. This is available. It is a pay-for-play, available on Ravelry. Just adore her stuff. It's well written. It's easy to read. It's easy to adjust. I require a slightly deeper armhole. Easy peasy. A quality pattern writer. However, every once in a while in your patterns, you will find areas of ambiguity. This pattern actually has one of these ambiguity things. And when this happens, your options are make a decision and live with it, contact the designer for interpretation. In this particular case, I chose to make a decision and live with it. The instruction reads, work decrease round every X number of rounds, a total of X number of times. Work the decrease round every, let's call it 10 rows. Does that mean work 9 and then do it? Or does that mean work 8 and then do it? Sorry, 9 or 10. My example was 10. So if it says do a decrease every 10 rounds, does that mean on the 10th round do the decrease? Or does that mean on the 11th round do the decrease? It's open to interpretation. And this is one of the problems with teching patterns, is how you present the information can be interpreted multiple ways. And that's why I tech it and I send it to somebody to have it teched, to see what other people's interpretations are. And then I have test knitters look at it and tell me, I don't understand this. Perfect, thank you. Tell me you don't understand it, because then I can present it again in another way that's easier to interpret. In this particular case, I could have easily contacted Josee and said, what do you mean? Do you mean do it on the 9th, 10th, 11th? Where do you want this? Or make a decision. If you're going to make a decision, or you get an answer from the designer, write it down on your pattern. Write it down. In this particular case, my decision was to work 9 and then do the decrease. And I've put that note right on my pattern in pen, so that when I'm done with this sleeve and life has interrupted me again and I end up setting this pattern aside for, please universe don't do this to me, another 3 weeks, and my mind is off, when I pick it back up again, I don't interpret it differently. That's key. Especially when you're doing something like a front and a back, or you're doing sleeves. These things should match. If they're supposed to match, they should match. I erred on the longer side. If in fact the interpretation was supposed to go the other way, I chose to err on what was going to produce X number more rows. The reason being, I have great long monkey arms. The die monkey has monkey arms. The sleeves on this are like a 3/4 sleeve. I am not comfortable with a 3/4 sleeve that barely crosses my elbow, which is usually what happens with me with a 3/4 sleeve. I prefer a 3/4 sleeve that actually goes 3/4 of my arm. My interpretation, if it does not match what she was saying, will be 7 rows longer and will be approximately 1 inch longer. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. If I had shorter arms, my interpretation would have gone the other way. Hopefully I did not lose you all in this. But my point with this is, if you make your own interpretation, if you make your own choice, document it so that you have it to go back to, or contact the designer. I have not met a designer yet that will not respond and help you through it. And I will always respond if you have a question and help you through it. Whether that means that we sit down together and we both knit it, or we sit down connected through technology and you watch what I do so that I can instruct you on what I meant. Sometimes it's easier to see it than it is to say it. We're all a designer is not successful unless the pattern can be accomplished. Don't be shy about contacting us. So, progress on my sweater. Yay! Very excited about that. Very, very excited about that. I found one of the missing projects. I found it. So one of the missing projects was a version of my Ships Ashore shawl that I was doing in lace weight. And it is green, and I mean green. It's green. It is a very, very strong, almost bordering on violent green. It's lovely. I don't know if I have any love for it. I don't know how likely I am to wear something quite this green. I don't know why I dyed this yarn quite this green. I'm not sure why I cast on this yarn quite this green. I look at it on the monitor here. I get to see basically what you guys see, and the monitor has this at just this amazing Christmas tree. It is, I want to say Oscar the Grouch, but it's brighter than Oscar. It is like Christmas tree. Bright green, and it's pretty true to what I see here. There are limes in here, there are hints of a blue-green in here, there are hints of a foresty green in here, but there is primarily more of a lime Kelly green. There's the skein. I have been working on this project for a long time. I don't even dare want to look at my project page to see how long I've been working on this, because it camped for a long time, likely a couple of years. I haven't decided. I have a lot of yarn left. This could end up being just a really big, epically large piece because I have the potential, I have the yarn to do it. Or I could stop it early and just have just a wrap. The color, I think, is flattering on me. I don't know how often I will gravitate to it. I have a lot of decisions I need to make about this. There is the potential. I can see where I pulled the needle out. I've got it on waste yarn. I have stitch markers in place to let me know where I'm at. I just haven't decided. I will revisit that later. But I found it, and I'm excited about that because I can't stand when things are lost. That makes me wild. I have one other project that is still missing, and I sort of suspect that I purged it because I've ripped the studio apart repeatedly looking for these missing objects and finally found this guy, but haven't found that one. That's where that is. I'm checking my list. My acrylic socks, they're camping. My Daylin sweater, which is also in a beautiful purple acrylic, that is camping. My How to Eat an Elephant blanket, that is camping. The temperatures have recently come down out of the triple digits, and sitting under a wool blanket to knit it has not been an appealing idea. The Farmhouse shawl, like I said, I'm ready to look at the 3-color design. Fox Paws is camping, Overflow is camping, the Duchess is camping. My Dark Hero socks, I think I told you guys last week, frogged it. Recovered that yarn. I love the yarn, I love the colorway, it's beautiful. It is one of Shannon Shaw's yarns. She does supernatural yarns. Love her work, love that yarn, bought it because I loved it. The sock project did not work out. Frogged, farmed, new project coming, just don't know what yet. Probably socks, because I loved it in the socks. And that just leaves, let's see, the Duchess of Santa Fe is camping. ships ashore. That's the one that's found that is awaiting determination. And the Brenda hat. I have another... I was knitting my Brenda design again, and I have no idea where I've put it. I don't know. I made progress. I have one other design that I'm playing with. So I'm having a design along. If you're new to the podcast, welcome and feel free to join. The design along is going on until September 1st. There's still time to get in. There's always time to design a new washcloth, another hat. There's time to get it done. Your entry is simply a completed object. It does not have to be a written pattern. You're welcome to pop on over to our group on Ravelry and take a look at the finished designs that are already turned in. Very nice work. And certainly submit your own. I welcome anything. It's open, whether it's knit or crochet, as long as it's a project of your own design. Modifications of existing designs are allowed, provided that your modification is significant and therefore it is your work. Designs take time. September 1st, we still got time. We can do this. My goal was to get that one done, as well as to get the 4-color shawl done. Gotta get on that one. In the meantime, I have another shawl that I'm playing with. I did some doodling of a lace design one day, just sitting outside in the breeze and enjoying the weather, and I really loved the direction it took. And I cast it on. Sometimes you cast something on, not so much to complete it, but to do like a living swatch to see where it's going, what it's going to look like. I ripped it all out this morning because I'm content with what it looks like, but I want to make some significant structural changes to it. The original design was going to be just a triangular shawl. It's okay, I liked it. But ultimately, what spoke to me was that it wanted to be another 3/4 square, shaped like the Farmhouse shawl. That's going to happen. That's where I'm at. So I tore out the triangular living swatch, and I'm recharting it to make the 3/4 square shape happen for this new design, and that's going to get cast on and worked on as well. Very happy with the direction that this lace is taking. It's very geometric. It is very ornamental in that it also changes constantly down through the piece. We're not talking about a lot of repetition. If there's repetition, it's only for a couple of repeats, not miles of repeat like some of my other designs. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited about this new thing, and it's nothing that came from a Stitch dictionary. It is really just a lace doodle that came out of me onto graph paper. So it's an exciting new direction for me to just kind of play with the shapes, not only of the overall end shape structure of the shawl, but the graphic shape contained therein. Fun. Anywho, with regards to the design along, we do have a thread for chatter and progress. Feel free to share where you're at. It is kind of quiet over there. That's fine. I do check it all the time. So if somebody does wish to engage, I'm there to engage with you. Also, there's a thread for the finished objects. Please, no chatter in that thread. There are 3 entries this far. I do have my picture in there to keep myself honest. I cannot win my own contest. Don't worry about that. That'll be removed when we do drawings or whatever the prize structure is going to be. It's more to keep that thread active. If the thread is quiet for a whole month, Ravelry knocks it down and hides it, and it's harder to see. I bumped it up by putting my own stuff in there and to keep me on task. Plans going forward. So I've talked about this a lot, and I'm going to just repeat again so that it's fresh in your mind, so that you're thinking about it, preparing for it. We're going to do a knit together community mixer in August. What is this going to be? It's going to be kind of like a pen pal exchange, in that I'm going to dye up a bunch of yarns, but I'm only going to dye them in sets of 2, so that each colorway is only going to have 2 skeins. You're going to be able to sign up so that we have a head count, and then you're going to have the opportunity to buy this yarn, your choice of the yarn from this. Whoever buys the mate, the sister, the pot, the kettle mate of yours, you're going to have an exchange of your email addresses so that you have something in common and an introduction, and you can meet a new knitterly friend. This is something that we'll be doing in August. We'll be pulling details together a little bit later on. Hopefully, my current plan is that the beginning of August we're going to do the sign up, and then by the 3rd week of August, hopefully, we'll do the actual, here's your chance to purchase them, and we'll get them shipped out to you, and you guys can start to exchange information. I recently had another idea. Bear with me, guys. I know it's triple-digit heat and humidity and horrible out. But some things in life simply have to be planned for. I had an idea about doing an ornament exchange. Yes, I know, it's way too early to say anything about the holidays. But some things have to be planned for, and this is one of those things that's going to have to be planned for. My idea is very much like a cookie exchange, in that we will have a sign up, we will sort out how many people, and whether it's feasible to do the whole group or to break the group into a couple of smaller groups and cap it. The idea is that you will knit or crochet X number of ornaments. Let's say that there is a group of 5 people. You would create 5 ornaments. All the ornaments would be shipped to me. I will then divide them all up so everybody gets back 5 ornaments that are different. There's one of each of the people who participated, without getting your own ornament. There's like math that needs to go into this. So that for your holiday tree, you will have an assortment of knitted or crochet ornaments to include on your tree. It's a community thing. It's a mixer thing. And I think it would be great fun to share with each other. There are some fantastic ornament patterns out there. Many of them are free, whether they're little sweaters or little stockings or little hats or little woodland creatures that you can knit up. They're small projects. They're little bits of busy work, but it's something small that you can accomplish in a couple of evenings sat down. And the idea that you would get hand-created ornaments from other people of like interest, of like mind, what a special thing to do. The idea just warms my heart. If you are interested in this, if this is something that is in any way remotely exciting to you, would you please contact me and let me know? Really, this is going to be one of those things that is about the interest level. I can't do it without you. To do this exchange, of course, requires participation. I understand that sometimes we have best intent, that we want to do something, we sign up for something, and then reality crashes down on us and we go, there's no way I can do this. Don't feel like a failure. Don't feel ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. If you sign up for something initially and you say, Jess, this is great, and then later it doesn't work for you, that's okay. That's fine. That's called life. And part of being a community is being generous to each other and understanding these things. In that respect, there will be a angel fund, a life support fund, so if anybody did drop out at the end, nobody would lose out. We would still have a support system in place so that you still got what was put in. Worst case scenario, there may only be 2 of us and we each get to exchange an ornament. We'll see what happens. But if you're interested, please let me know, and don't feel like it's a long-term commitment. The more that it's interest, if you do want to forward a long-term commitment and say, yes, absolutely, not only am I on board, but I'm planning on it and I'm going to go sit down and start knitting little tiny sweaters. Wonderful, thank you. If it's something that's remotely interesting that, you know, hey, I'm not sure where my life is going, but I like the idea, let me know that as well. Just let me gauge interest so I can plot, decide, and see what we can do. Also coming up, we're going to do the YouTube Lives again. I love that platform. I love the interaction. I love how you all get to meet each other. It's fascinating to me that you join and you ask questions and you learn about me, but you learn about each other. And then you often contact me afterwards and go, who was this person? I really liked her. If you're open to exchange, feel free to let other people know, contact them privately. Find friends in this. That's part of what this community is about. The next YouTube Live is going to be Wednesday, July 11th at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That is GMT 1 a.m., London is 2 a.m., Eastern Time is 9 p.m., Central is 8 p.m., and Pacific is 6 p.m. Again, that is this coming Wednesday, a couple days from now. In lieu of a regular episode, I will be doing another live on a Saturday. The next Saturday that we'll be doing the live is going to be July 28th at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard. That is GMT 4 p.m., BST 5 p.m., CEST 6 p.m. Eastern is lunchtime, it's at noon, Central is 11 a.m., and Pacific is 10 a.m. If I have edited this properly, all of this was right here for you, and certainly it will be in the show notes as well down below so that you can check and see if any of these time frames work for you. We would love to have you. I can't stress enough how much fun that interaction is, how much I enjoy it, and how much the other participants have enjoyed it. This is a Patreon episode. Oh no, I want to talk about other stuff first. I told you that I had packages that I received, that I struggled to receive. They're here, and they primarily contain future giveaways and prizes. Some of them contain purchases, and I want to show off my acquisitions because they're beautiful and they're fun. Set aside all the stuff I've got tucked in my chair here. So I purchased some yarn from Rosalie. Rosalie is the yarn matrix, and her stuff is beautiful. It's a new shop. She's just opened her shop. I bought this. I love this. The colorway is called Chocolate Toffee Crunch. I would have been so heartbroken if this was unrecoverable. I cannot, you wouldn't believe the stress I had when I thought, I'm not going to get my Chocolate Toffee Crunch. All the things that drive us in our lives. Now you see why I was so upset. Is it beautiful or what? I love this. I love these soft chocolatey browns. I love this toffee color. I love the creams. I love how they I love this. I love Yarn Matrix. She can be found on Etsy. Just do a search for Yarn Matrix. This is hand-dyed yarns from the Santa Cruz Mountains in California. And it is 75% superwash, 25% nylon. It is a fingering weight. There are 462 yards per 100 grams. And she has a Ravelry group as well, Yarn Matrix, YARNMATRIX. Pop on over and join her. I purchased this. I love this. Rosalie is an incredibly generous individual, and she has given me additional skeins to use as prizes and giveaway. It's going to be hard to do, Rosalie. Your work is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm going to show them off. Nothing has been paired up yet. I do not have my giveaways organized yet. I do not have the prizes organized yet. I am simply gathering all the materials, and then things are going to get joined up. We have some project bags coming. we have yarns, and then we have stitch markers. We have all kinds of stuff coming, and it's so exciting. It's like Christmas because I get to sort everything up and figure out gifts, and then I get to randomly give them away. It's so much fun. Among the skeins that she also sent me is robin's egg. Look at those little pink speckles in there, and this pale blue. Lovely, 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 lovely. Again, this is her fingering weight yarn. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 462 yards over 100 grams. Would this not be the prettiest, most delicate little shawl? The robin's egg blue with the little tiny speckles of pink in it, just to draw. Oh, I love it. I love it. Also in the pack she sent me, we have Party in the Pot. Party in the Pot is also a fingering weight, same base, the 75% superwash merino, the 25% nylon. It is a party. Look at that. Pinks, purples, very, very pale lavenders, very, very pale blushes in there. All speckle happiness. So much fun. This one's the tough one. I'm a sucker for browns and orange. Any autumnal colors, they own my heart. This is on her worsted base. It's 100% superwash merino. It is called Autumn's Spring. My heart. Look at that. Glorious, glorious. Oranges, browns, little dashes of blue, little dashes of green. Just little speckles of other colors with these oranges against the cream and the brown. I love this. I'm going to try very hard not to be selfish and keep it all. I have shown the public. They know I have it. I must be generous. I will make sure that these things go out into the world, but oh my God. I also placed an order from Knitsy's Porch. Knitsy is also new to Etsy, and she is making the most beautiful stitch markers. They're the snagless stitch markers as well as progress keepers. I don't think I paid attention to her listing because I honestly just thought that I was getting stitch markers and a progress keeper, and they were in these lovely sets, and she's doing them with all these beautiful beads. What I failed to take in was that they were coming in this perfect little tin. It's a hinged tin, pops right open, ba-bang, fits in my project bag, carries with me, is neat, is small, contains all my stuff. Knitsy, you're brilliant. Knitsy is doing these lovely sets. I'm going to try and hold this up so you can see it. Of stitch markers. They're the snagless, so there's nothing to catch on your yarn, and a progress keeper. Sorry, it's going to be a little hard for me to show on camera. These are brilliant. Brilliant. They're beautiful. They're well made. There's no snag. I really literally dragged this across one of those dusting cloths to be absolutely sure when I tell you that this is snagless, I mean it is snagless. She knows her stuff. They are beautiful. Try and block my face so you can see them. Very happy. Very happy. I had purchased myself a couple of sets of these. Knitsy very generously has sent on 4 more sets to be included as giveaways and prizes. Knitsy, thank you so much. knitsysporch.etsy.com. I love these little tins. I love the product. I'm thrilled with it. And, look at these. They're the perfect little gifts. I'm so thrilled with them. Further, she has reached out to me and contacted me to let me know that she is in product development for a couple of other items that I'm very excited about. She's talking about doing buttons and shawl pins. Can you see the joy? I can't wait. I can't wait. I have so much anticipation of these projects. I can't wait to see what she comes up with, and certainly I'll be sharing that information with you as soon as I've seen what's going on. But very excited. Love these projects, and I love working with people who are starting up their businesses and being able to show you guys what's going on and tell you, this is stunning. It's soft, it smells good, it's squishy, it has all the happy, and the colors are beautiful. Josee has a broad selection of beads to choose from. I'm very excited about both of these new shops over at Etsy. Take a look, please. This community continues to astound and expand, and the generosity is overwhelming. Give them some love. If you missed it last week, I did a spoiler and I showed you what the yarn is for this month for the Patreons. It is myrtle, beautiful purples and teals, and some slate gray blues in there. Very happy with this colorway. This is exclusive. This is going out on my Mosh Monkey base. It is 75% Superwash Merino, 25% nylon. It is a 2-ply spun. So it's got this extra texture to the yarn, and that gives it some really cool stitch definition. I have not sold any Mosh Monkey in my shop yet. It is going out exclusively to my patrons at this point. To get it out there, to see what y'all think of it, let me know. Big old basket of that ready to mail out. And I have some drawings to do. And would you believe I did not bring my phone, so I can't do my random number generator. I need to go fetch that. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I have my phone so that I can look up random.org, and we can sort out who the prize winners are this month. Need to have a pen so I can mark them. My Patreon program has a number of different support levels that you can sign up for. Several of the levels are a drawing each month for the prize, for the monthly gift and thank you gift. And I am very, very grateful for everyone who chooses to patron me. I love being able to give back, and this is very meaningful to me. My first level, that is a drawing level, is my benefactor level. Each month I do a drawing, and people, the winner, receives a special gift inclusive of yarn, pattern, and more. I have 4 people at that level, so we're going to set this for 1 through 4 and hit the generate button and find out that this month's winner is number 1. Number 1 on my list is Scott. Scott, you're getting a gift of yarn, a pattern, a project, more. I have my partner level. On my partner level, one random individual receives both a skein of Dye Monkey yarns and a pattern of their choosing. You get to decide from whatever is in my shop, whatever is in my designs on Ravelry. You get to pick one of each, and I get that out to you. I love this. This is great fun. At this level, we also have 4 people, so 1 through 4, and I hit generate. My prize winner is number 3. That is Cappy. Cappy, you've got a prize coming out to you. I have my contributor level. My contributor level, each month, one random contributor receives a random skein of yarn. That random skein of yarn this month is going to be one of the exclusive skeins. I have 7 people at that level, so let me adjust this to 1 through 7 and hit generate. My winner is number 7. Wayne, you got a prize this month. Those are my random levels. I have one other level that is a simple, single $1 per month donation. That level gets you a coupon. Everyone who donates $1 gets a coupon each month for one pattern they're choosing from my collection. I also have the subscription level. The subscription level comes with big benefits. At the subscription level, each month, the subscribers get a skein of the exclusive colorway, as well as a coupon for 25% off everything else in my shop. I love this program. I think that that program ultimately is better than being in a sock club. The yarn is always a fingering weight, very much like a sock club, and it's always an exclusive color. It's not a color that I sell any other way. Sometimes I do extra things. If it's a particularly sale month, last month I bumped it up, and instead of doing a regular skein, I did a sock blank. It's very important to me that I honor the generosity of my patrons by giving back to them with value. If you're interested in becoming a patron, the patronage program is such that basically you're funding better equipment for me, future projects, and I'm giving back to you. Please take a look at the different levels over on my Patreon page. The link will be here for you. And if you have any questions, don't be shy about asking. I'm more than happy to explain. There is exclusive content there available to my subscribers. There is also more exclusive content on its way. That is what I have for you all this week. I am thrilled to be able to join you guys each week. This is a touchstone in my life. It's an important part of my life, and I'm just not the same without it. Thank you for all your kind messages and your support, and thank you for being the calm in my chaos, the little thing that I can find some control in. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Drag it, pump it, drag it, pump it, pack it, pump it, boom, don't have a heart.